Is this still the best BMW? We'll find out in today's video. I'll include a link to the BMW of Murray's website in the description down below. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood is a turbo 3-liter inline 6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 23 around town, 27 on the highway, with power outputs being 375 horsepower and then 398 pound-feet of torque. I'm trying to hit 500,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help out with that. Now this gray has quite a bit of gold flake, which definitely pops. Now BMW doesn't go over the top like Audi with the lights, but you do have some cool little animations. And then you can see the rest of the front end with the grille and everything is blacked out. You can get the X5s with a chrome finish, but the blacked out finish just makes more sense with the styling. And this is because BMW's gone all in on making their cars angular and aggressive. Our turn wheel setup is 275 by 45 by 20. The wheels have metallic gray on the inside, silver there on the top. And then you get the nice red painted brake calipers as well. Speaking of painted, we've got blacked out elements here on the side with the venting and then also all the trim around the windows. And when you take a look at the side profile of the X5, you can see the proportions are really good. While we're on the topic of proportions, this key fob is actually pretty big, but you've got the BMW logo there with the lock function. You've got your unlock here on the side and the opening for the hatch as well. Let's take a look at the cargo area. This button right here lowers the suspension. That actually lowers the little tailgate. And that is something that's unique with the X5 in this segment, is you still have a tailgate. Other features in here is a 12 volts, and then we've got a cargo cover built in from the factory and plenty of space. That's why the X5 is so popular. Now, if you press the close button here, it actually will close the whole system automatically. The taillights here in the back definitely look like almost video game type swords. And you've got a nice cover over the exhaust tips there at the bottom. And capping things off for the exterior, you can tell that this is probably one of the least risky BMWs when it comes to styling, and that makes sense because it's the biggest seller. Let's now pop inside. Starting at the top of the door panel, we have a sunshade here, and we've got this nice two-tone design. There's also a little ambient light strip. I don't think this is real wood trim, maybe it is, but has that nice finish. And then really nice trim on the seats. Now legroom here in the back, the seats push back a little bit, but I mean, it's good. Here's kind of more of an accurate depiction there on the other side. And then this is your little charge port area. This also comes with vents for the rear passengers, heated seats, and they've got their own climate zone for either side. When it comes to headroom, there's actually quite a bit. Let's now take a look up front. That two-tone theme continues on the front door panel. Now we do have power folding mirror function, memory seat functionality. I don't know if it's gonna pop up in the camera very well, but massage seats as well as blind spot monitoring. And taking a look at the seats up front, just as fancy as the rear. There's tons of adjustment and lumbar support. The passenger also gets the massage seat, the memory seat, and all of the adjustment as well. But let's get into the fun stuff. Boom. Nice trim all around the steering wheel, of course, BMW logo front and center, and there's stitching around the airbag cover, which is cool. Practical controls on the front face of the steering wheel with paddles there on the back, your cruise controls here on the left-hand side, and you've got regular stalks there behind. Full digital gauge cluster here in the center. The coolest party trick is the drive modes. Will change kind of how the cluster appears, but it shows you all the basic information you need, like the temperature outside, how much fuel range, and by the way, over 600 miles of range is what it's showing. And while we're on the theme of screens, we've got a 360 camera system in the infotainment system. As for the rest of the screen, climate controls are built into the screen. They're always accessible there at the bottom section. Response time with the infotainment system itself is pretty good, but I will say with the sheer number of apps and everything, there is a little bit of a learning curve to this whole setup. And the next bit of tech is the heads-up display. Less techy, but still cool, is the trim here on the dash. You can see that continues into the wood area down below with the X5 logo. And trim is very interesting throughout. I mean, look at the trimmer on the vents, and then even here on the little controls down below. You do have physical buttons for like your radio, for example. We also have a wireless phone charging pad in this whole area next to the cup holders. And then just in front of the center console, we've got plenty of controls here. First section is the drive modes, your hill descent and auto hold. You got the crystal shifter to put it into gear. Next to that, you've got this dial to control the infotainment system if you don't want to use a touchscreen. And just behind that, we've got the adjustment for the air suspension. And then the center console has like a double door setup, but definitely nice trim on the top. There's even more nice trim with the headliner, and then this does have a big panoramic center. Too much glare to see the window sticker, but this is 90,825. Let's see how this performs. X540i. Isn't this crazy that the entry level, I mean, this is an entry level in terms of the interior and options, right? But the entry level version of the X5 powertrain wise is almost 6 figures. Now you can get this more affordably. I'll do a review on a more affordable version if you guys want me to, of the 40i, so you can see what it's like. But yeah, they let you load these things up, and loaded up that is for sure. So the seats are incredibly comfortable. Oh, I'm in sport mode. Pop back to comfort. We'll go in sport in a moment. Definitely have quite a bit of torque out of that engine, that's for sure. But yeah, really smooth power delivery. I love this engine. I've got it in my Ineos Grenadier. It doesn't have as much power as this, obviously, but really sweet engine. Yeah, incredibly smooth acceleration. Tons of low-end torque too. BMW needs to just let everyone, like, sell this engine to every single automaker, because it's so good. Inline sixes are inherently, like, just awesome, but this inline six especially, it's not a perfect engine by any means, but it's really, really good. Now, other than that, it's pretty well insulated. I mean, you got pretty thick glass. This does a really good job of being a luxury car. I think that's something worth mentioning. It's really good at being a luxury car. It's smooth, it's quiet. Pop into sport mode here. I do like the sounds this makes too. I know some of it's probably piped in audio, but it still sounds kind of cool. Yeah, the transmission's smooth too. Yeah, this whole engine transmission setup, it's really hard to beat this. And I think it's the biggest uphill battle that, you know, Audi and Mercedes have, is their engines are good for performance, but they just don't have the same smooth, torquey feel that this B58 has. And speaking of torque, like, it's powerful. It's got great power. And again, the delivery's just seamless. It's quite wonderful. So, in summary, the X5, I mean, you know, BMW's always been luxury. The X5 has definitely gone upscale big time. Definitely gone upscale big time. So, you know, I think some people appreciate it. I think other people will be like, man, this is a bit much. But they at least, like, a lot of this is optional equipment that this one has, right? So they at least allow you to get a less expensive version if that's what you want, right? If you don't want all of the crazy luxury features, the massaging seats and all that, you don't have to get it. They're not forcing you to. So just depends what you're looking for. But I will say it is, I could imagine it'd be confusing for buyers to an extent, because, you know, you go into a BMW dealership and you have one X5 that's $90,000 and another X5, same powertrain, right? Basically the same car, and it is, you know, like in the 70s. It's a big difference. So, man, I cannot park for the life of me. I'm trying to line up with this other X5. Anyways, let me know your thoughts.